Welcome back everybody to BeamNG.drive, and today we're taking a look at the ETK W series, more specifically the 2 litre version. And yeah, this was made between 1984 and 1989. It's got 129 horsepower, 136 pounds-feet of torque from a 2 litre inline 4 engine, producing weighing in at 3,997 pounds. So yeah, this is basically just based on a normal ETK with some 80s Mercedes-Benz styling going on for the front and rear. So yeah, not quite sure how this is going to perform because it is quite an older car, and it is only rear wheel drive, and yeah, it's not particularly powerful, so it might well struggle with some aspects. But regardless, let's see how it does with the suspension, see how long it lasts before we move on to the rollover sled, explosive barrels and cinder block wall. So yeah, let's get a bit of a real workout here. Suspension and everything else pretty much are pummeling, because it's not just the suspension that takes hits here. The drive lines, steering, and bodywork as well, actually. Seems to be standing up okay so far. Let's give it some real tests though. Let's go over these. Not lost any hubcaps yet, which is good. Oh, there goes one. Right at the end. Suspension is definitely working overtime here. Seems to be holding up okay. Oh well, we've lost a tyre, which is not good. More hubcaps going. There's the front bumper. Yeah, these are definitely the most punishing part of this course, and yeah, there goes the driveline. Suspected that would be the thing that would fail it, because as soon as the suspension starts to lower and lower, it's yeah, the driveline is going to be the one catching on the floor. So yeah, no surprise it's failed there, but the rest of the car seems to have held up fairly well. So that's a good, promising start, outside of obviously the driveline failing, but it's usually the case for long rear-wheel drive vehicles like this. So let's get to the rollover sled, see if it can last 3 goes, consecutive goes. Or should I say cumulative goes, because yeah, it's not going to get reset after each one. And there's the barrels and there's the cinder block wall, so let's roll over. Well, there goes the front wheel already, that is not a good sign. Roof for now is holding up. Definitely taking a fair bit of bodywork damage. It's that wheel that's the most concerning thing. Nope, not going to come on your own wheels. I'll do it for you then. Come on. There we go. So does that wheel still turn? It does a little bit. It looks like it has been yanked from a straight line position, and it's definitely wobbling, but it still steers and it's not impeding our progress. So it's holding on, but I'll have to see if it'll hold on this time. Come on. Seemingly being a regular occurrence at the moment for cars to start getting stuck on the ramp. Luckily the boot is already lifted up, so it doesn't matter that we're using that as a means of getting the car on. Right. Oops. Yeah, those front wheels definitely seem to be a weak point on this. The roof is doing quite well for such an old car. You know, it's nearly 40 years old, technically, so it's doing quite well. Now losing the bonnet as well as the boot. But it's acted as a self-righting mechanism, so that's good. But yeah, we're definitely looking worse for the wear. But despite those wheels looking like they've been whacked continuously, which, yeah, it definitely got a bit of an angle on it, they are holding on. So they are bending, and they are twisting around at times, but they are not breaking, which is important, obviously. Right, let's see if it can survive this final go. The wheel's gone again. Is that permanent now, or will it twist back again? We'll have to see. I think it may well be prematurely alright for now. Still going. I think it's definitely the boot and the bonnet that are working in tandem and rolling it over. But they are actually protecting the rest of the car from damage, which is good to see. Although the roof has taken a fair bit of a whack there. But on the whole, I'll have to say that I'm surprised how well the roof has held up. It's been damaged, no doubt about that, but it's not caved in. It's not reduced headroom or survivability space. But yeah, we've definitely lost a front wheel there, but it still drives and sort of moves in terms of steering. Definitely moves right. But it's not... Yeah, it's a bit of a struggle to get it going left, but it still moves, so that's a pass as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, let's struggle over here and reset so we can go up against those explosive barrels. See how well it deals with this. Oh, I did not slow it down then, I do apologise. Pressed the wrong button, I fat-fingered, but regardless, yeah, that's taken catastrophic front-end damage, like usual. And yeah, the rest of the car has not gotten away with that nicely either. The steering wheel has jutted upwards into the windscreen, which isn't good survivability. But on the whole, I think that's a pass. Because at the end of the day, the compartment hasn't been, you know, rendered unsurvivable. It's just heavily damaged, that's all. So yeah. I'm going to call that a pass. So let's get into the cinder block wall and see if we can deal with that. So once again, get up to 60 miles an hour. Which we're more than able to get up to. I won't fat finger it this time. Yeah, it's dealt with that fine. The damage has been mainly concentrated on the front end rather than the driver and passenger compartment. What's this cinder block going to do? Is it going to land on us? Oh, just graze us, but this one is. Yeah, roof takes that fine. Which is a good sign, because the cinder block is hardly a lightweight object. So yeah, overall I think that's a pass. I think the rollover test was a pass, the explosive barrels was a pass, and this was as well. Not going to quite say that the suspension area was, because the driveline went quite quickly, but 3 out of 4 ain't bad. So let's get on to the crash haul, and see how this deals with 30, 40 and 60 mile an hour small overlap crashes. So here we are at the crash hall, so let's see what a mid-80s car can do at 30 mile an hour with a small overlap crash test. So we've seen quite some spectacular fails at higher speeds, but we've rarely seen much damage at 30 miles an hour. So let's see if this is in the majority rather than the minority. Because yeah, the van for instance was pretty poor at this speed, so let's hope that this is at least a little bit better than that. It does have a fair bit more bodywork up front, so it should be. Yep, that's fine. Sure, there's been a lot of damage there. The fender has crumpled outwards and the bonnet has curled up. We've lost the bumper and the radiator, and the front left wheel does not look particularly straight, but yeah, the rest of the car has been, you know, protected from that crash. So yeah, that's a pass there. Let's see what happens at 40. Now there can be some dramatic changes between 30 and 40, as we have seen in some previous reviews, so let's hope that's not the case for this one. It shouldn't be, theoretically, given how well it dealt with the 40 mile an hour impact, the 30 mile an hour impact there. I've had to slow it right down just to get it further over to the right, because we are a little bit on the left hand side here. I think we're a bit too much over to the left, unfortunately, so let's try that again. Can be a little bit fiddly getting cars in the perfect position. I do wish this map had the option to just pull cars along like they do in real life crash tests. They don't drive them in real life, they pull them along on this little using the little divot in the middle of the floor there with some wires. Well, that's a bit more dramatic than last time. The door has peeled outwards and the roof has gone up a little bit, but on the whole that is pretty much the same. Interior wise looks mostly okay. Definitely the door that is the biggest concern though right now. But yeah, 40 mile an hour, I'd say that's a pass. Not a resounding pass, but a pass regardless. So let's see what happens at the magical 60, which, yeah, very few cars have passed, and I'm not sure this will, given how the 40 mile an hour impact went. It wasn't great, but it did show off that the car had some weaknesses, especially the door and the roof. Yeah, that's kind of to be expected, to be honest. Heavy damage pretty much everywhere along that left hand side. I mean, even the right hand side has taken some because the door's popped open, which kind of indicates that the chassis has been twisted to the left when it impacted that part of the wall. I mean, yeah, look at where the steering wheel is and where you are, or where the seat is even. Your legs would have been trapped under the steering wheel, and then your chest would have impacted the steering wheel, and then, yeah, that's not great, to be honest. That is a fail. So yeah, we're currently on 5 out of 7. So let's see how this deals with two cars that are of similar weight and size at 60 miles an hour, and then one at the same conditions that really isn't the same kind of weight and size. So here we are at the highway, and the first car we're going to be going up against is a Brook L Legrand, which is about 45 pounds heavier than we are, but I think we're the slightly larger vehicle, so yeah, who knows whether what's going to happen here. They are about the same age as well, although the Legrand here is front-wheel drive, not rear-wheel drive, so it might have a bit more up front going for it as well. So yeah, quite frankly, this can go either way, either car's favour, to be honest. So let's see what happens. American versus German, or technically Japanese, even though it's based on a German car. But yeah, that's pretty punishing for both cars there, to be honest. I think on the whole though we got away with it better than the Legrand. The steering wheel seems to be closer to the driver's seat than ours does. So yeah, I'm going to say that's a pass. Not a resounding one, obviously, because we're quite half dead. I mean, just look at us, the chassis is pretty much touching the floor. But yeah, I'm going to call that a pass for us, so that's 1 out of 3 so far. Right, let's see if we can find something a little bit lighter than we are. Going for something a little bit heavier, it's only fair to go for something a little bit lighter. What about a Sunburst? How light are you? Yeah, you a little bit lighter. Yeah, we'll go for this one. It's £22 lighter than we are, but it's also a more modern car, so let's see what happens. See if it can survive this one, because we all know it's not going to survive the heavyweight crash, so at least get 2 out of 3. So here comes the pain. Oh, I think we actually dealt with that better than last time. Yes, the Sunburst is a little bit lighter, so that will have helped us personally, and it's also probably got better crumple zones, which again would have helped us slow down a fair bit better. But yeah, I think we got away with that better than the Sunburst, to be honest, because that's got its roof crumpled way upwards, its doors are both pretty much coming out the sides, whereas even though we're slightly like that, we're not as dramatically like that. So yeah, I'm going to call that a pass and a win for us again. So let's see what happens when we go up against a real heavyweight brute of a vehicle. Let's see if we can at least try and survive that. What to pick though is the ultimate question. I think we'll go for a van. I think we went for a Roma last time. Street tuned one is 5478, which is about, yeah, nearly £2,400 a lot heavier than we are. The Vandal is a little bit even heavier. I think we'll go for the box uplift though, because that is a proper heavyweight at £7,500. Hopefully it'll be able to get up to 60. Constantly monitor these so they don't spear off into another direction. Right, this is going to be real pain, so we're going to slow this right down. As you can see, we're a lot lower than the van, and obviously not even half the weight of it. Oh, yes, that's death. That is a big fail there. The van has taken barely any damage to its passenger compartment, where ours is, yeah, practically where the rear seats are. Yes, that is, yeah, death. I mean, we've even lost the door completely. It's not just hanging off, it's completely come off, which is not something you often see on that we've seen on these crashes before. So that is yeah, quite devastating there. But yeah, on the whole, I'd say this has been a pass. It passed 3 out of 4 on the grid map. It passed 2 out of 3 on the crash hall. So that's 5, and it passed 2 out of 3 here. So that's a good solid 7 out of 10. And it's a decent mod as well. Nothing spectacular. It is, at the end of the day, just mainly a bodywork rejob on the standard ETK, although there are some different engines for this mod. But on the whole, yeah, it's a decent mod, just nothing quite as spectacular as we have seen before. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.